Did I give you the embed code, Corey? Oh, we're on air now. Okay,
Yeah,
great. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Sweet Hand Caribbean Cooking with Sarina. This is episode 8, and I'm very excited because I have the part 2 of my Valentine / Trinidad Carnival scenario going on in this today's menu. So, yes, Valentine's is past, but February is a month of love. So I'm thinking, let's continue that vibration. I was off last week celebrating Trinidad Carnival, relaxing a little bit, sun and sand, and now I'm back in the kitchen, but I don't want to make the meal too heavy. I don't want to stress myself out. So this is a no-fuss meal, and it's a vegan one too, in honor of tonight's musical guest, Corey Wallace, a.k.a. Coreysan, who is a vegan adherent.
Hello,
So I
everybody.
prepared a veganized version of Trinidad Corn Soup, which is a carnival street food staple. But I'm kicking it up a little bit, a notch, creating a little more of an elegant presentation that is fine on any dinner table. And I'm also doing an eggplant parm sandwich and to pair that with, and ending it with a chocolate cassava pudding that was inspired by a recipe that one of tonight's guests, John, out there in Scotland, he's at the bottom of the strip. I'm going to introduce everyone in a sec. He posted it a little while back, and I was inspired. I thought, how could I do this with cassava? And then thinking of love, I had to add some chocolate. So that's what we're going to be making tonight. To start off, Coreysan, a.k.a. Corey Wallace. He's going to be our musical guest, and he's one of the innovators and pioneers of electronic dance music here in Trinidad, and probably the Caribbean as well, if I'm so bold to say. And I'm so glad that he's joining us tonight with 2 performances from his upcoming album. I also have here John in Scotland, who again is the inspiration for one of the dishes I'll be making tonight. Say hi, John.
Hello.
Say hi to Corey.
Hello.
Then I also have Faiza next to John and Wani next to Faiza. And Wani and Faiza are husband and wife. And if you remember my last episode, Wani was the panelist. He was the musical guest. He jetted down to Trinidad for Carnival, jetted back, and now he's with us. So glad to have you here, Wani, as well.
Hello, everybody.
Yes. And Faiza, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
So if you're watching us from G Plus in the event stream, post your comments, post your questions. John will be monitoring your questions and passing them to me live during the show. So hopefully I'll be able to stay on top of that. And let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to melt some margarine, to get my corn soup started. This pan is on medium heat, and you can hear it sizzling because all my pans are prepped beforehand. So I'm just melting that margarine, and to that I'm going to add a ½ cup of chive, chopped chive or green onions. And this adds an herbal quality to the soup, which is very important. You don't want to skip this step at all. And we're just going to saute the chive and the margarine for not too long, probably a minute. We don't want it to brown. We're just looking for it to soften and for the fragrance to start to bloom.
Yum, yum.
There we go. So while that's happening, I also have my chocolate cassava pudding started up. I don't know where to put this lid. Let me put it up here. See? So what I have here is the sauce for the chocolate cassava pudding. And to do this, I basically, as you can see, it's settling here at the bottom and starting to get translucent. I ground or blended some cassava with this chocolate almond milk. And that's going to provide the base for our pudding. And cassava is very viscous, and it thickens very nicely when it's heated up. So if you've ever made a cassava porridge or cassava pone, that's what gives it that creamy, thick consistency. And that's what we're going to be using to create our dough pudding today. So I have this on a medium heat right now, and I'm just going to keep whisking it until it thickens, which it's already starting to do. But that's going to continue happening throughout the show. It's going to take a little bit of time. So let's just get that whisked up. You want to make sure nothing burns or sticks to the bottom and that everything is incorporated so that it's as smooth in consistency as possible. Some lumps are unavoidable because of the nature of cassava, but they're not hard lumps, so don't worry about it. Okay, so now our butter and our side look like they are coming to come. You can see there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to let it go a little bit longer. I'm going to start the marinara for my eggplant parm sandwiches. So we're going to have 3 pots going at once, and which is always fun and a little head-racking, but that's okay. So I have some olive oil here that I've had on medium heat, and here are my spices. This is my salt, my red pepper flakes, my chopped garlic, my black pepper. This is not going to be an extremely assertive marinara because we're not really using it to stir in the dish. It's just going to be one of the sauces with the eggplant in our sandwich. So it's a very simple, quick one. And I'm already starting to smell that. As soon as the garlic hits the olive oil, it just releases that aroma. And I'm just going to have that going for about 30 seconds or so.
Is it extra virgin olive oil?
Say that?
Extra virgin olive oil?
Yes, extra virgin. That's the only olive oil I use.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't play with other kinds.
All right.
Yeah.
Put that on the grocery list.
Sorry?
You said put that on the grocery list.
Yes, put it on the grocery list. Ronnie and Pfizer are in the same room, but they're just kind of like have their backs to each other right now.
Yes.
Do this with us. So.
She's actually over there.
Yeah, so she's really telling him to put it on the list when she said
Yeah,
that.
he's over there.
Yeah, exactly. All right. No,
You understand? Okay. So my pudding is really thickening up now. So I just lowered the heat. I had it on medium, brought it up to a simmer, and now I've lowered the heat because I don't want it to burn again. I don't want anything to burn. And you'll see, I'm going to bring it over to the camera in just a few seconds, probably a few minutes. How it's starting. Let me do that. Let me show you the difference. Cassava gets viscous so quickly. So you can see here, it's already starting to develop. See? That consistency of pudding. So we're just going to let that continue happening. Okay. So now, the side and the butter, they smell so rich right now. If you know that smell, there's nothing like it. I'm adding a cup of vegetable stock and a 14-ounce tin of creamed corn. And despite the name, it doesn't mean there's milk. It just means that the corn kernels have been blended or pureed in part. And that brings out the milkiness of the corn. So it has a creamy, milky, corny goodness quality to it.
Yum, yum.
So we're adding that, and that's really going to be part of the base of our corn soup. And I've also added in this a tablespoon of flour, because since we're not using whole milk, we're going to be using rice milk in this dish. That's going to give the soup the body that it would have if we were using whole milk that's traditional here in Trinidad. So we're going to mimic that textural quality with that tablespoon of flour that's already been blended in here. It's going to thicken the soup. Any questions so far?
Not so far.
How about you, Corey? What do you think of this vegan spread? Is one you could get down with?
I'm just trying to stop myself from drooling on the camera.
Don't drool yet. I haven't done anything that
cassava
exciting.
and chocolate, I was like, I wonder how that working, and then you
So you can
explain it.
see
It's like,
here, corn and the sive. And this is going to be a very colorful, pretty soup when we're done with it.
wow, beautiful.
Yeah. So I'm just going to leave this on a low heat for about 15 minutes so that the flour has time to thicken, the flavors have time to melt before we proceed in that direction.
Yum,
Now this has
yum.
been on a bit of a low heat, so the garlic is not burnt or anything like that. I'm going to add 2 14-ounce tins of diced tomatoes. So let me see, put it up there to my face. And you hear that sizzle. That's a good sound.
Yeah, the magic sound, yeah.
Yes. That's the sound of cooking. We got food going on in the kitchen right now.
You need some kind of virtual smell, virtual
I was just
aroma.
I
saying
know,
the same
I
thing.
I
I was
think you can just
literally gonna
imagine
say
it.
the same
Just
thing.
aroma of that olive oil and garlic and thyme and
Mm,
basil and oregano.
It smells so good. I could smell it from here.
you
I know,
know,
right?
the smell of love.
That is the truth. And the
Wow.
thing is that I enjoy cooking vegan meals, even though I'm not a vegan,
Mm.
because it's never a bad idea to have more vegetables in your diet and
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
more
yeah.
plant-based dishes and components, just from a health perspective, whether it's for
Yeah,
ethical
exactly.
reasons, religious reasons,
Even just
um,
for one day, it's good. It's good for your
even just
whole
for one day. The whole
digestive
Meat Test
system.
Monday campaign has been really good, I think, for sensitizing people and getting them interested in trying out this component. And it really does have ramifications for our environment and our
Mm,
world, the different industries, livestock, and so on and so forth.
mm.
So even though I'm not an extremist, I don't really take an extreme point of view on any
Nah, me
culinary or
neither. Me
dietary
neither.
path. I say the more that you can incorporate vegetable and plant-based diets,
It's
dishes,
about balance,
the
yeah.
better for you.
The better.
Exactly. More
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's
love.
about balance.
More
We
love.
like balance.
Yeah, each person to
What
their
I'm
own,
doing here
What
is
what
I'm
they say, one man
mashing
food is a next man poison, so you have to find what works for you. No, for real, because I might be vegan, but I mean, my girlfriend now is vegetarian, but
the.
I had girlfriends before that weren't even vegetarian, but that's no problem. That's your choice. But know your balance. Eat healthy, and it's
Well
about
put.
that.
Again, yes, it's not about, beating anyone down or saying subscribe to
Yeah,
my
yeah,
path.
that's
Right.
stupid. That's stupid. I always tell people I'm vegan. I'm not an
Well
idiot.
said.
You know what I'm saying? This is my
So I
choice.
have
This
this
is
simmering
working
right
for me.
now. I'm mashing the tomatoes a little bit because, we don't want them chunky. We want a little bit of a sauce, a chunky sauce, but we don't want them in hard cubes.
Mm.
So just pressing them down a little to develop that sauce. And then we're just going to let this simmer. So let's look at our pudding. It's really coming to come now. Can you see that?
Wow.
That looks
Yeah.
so good.
And that's cassava, baby.
Yeah.
Wow.
So see, look at that.
Oh
Nice.
my God.
Ribbons.
Magic.
Gorgeous, isn't it? And again, we don't need eggs. We don't need whole milk for this. We're just using the natural qualities of cassava and the health benefits of it to boot. And
Nice.
some chocolate almond milk. And we're making a very healthy, going to be even more delicious pudding when you see what I'm going to add now.
Mm. Wow.
Now, before I add that, these are going to be, let me see here. There we go. These are my eggplant steaks. I put steaks in quotation marks because I know they're not real steaks, but they're cut to mimic the shape, and they've been breaded in
Wow.
panko breadcrumbs and drizzled with olive oil, and there are herbs and stuff in the crumbs as well that I've added. And these are going to be oven baked for 20 minutes at 400 degrees. That's going to form the heart of our eggplant parm sandwiches. So they're going to be very crunchy on the outside and moist in the middle.
So one of the panko crumbs.
Right. So now, back to our pudding. I'm adding cream of coconut, 1 14-ounce can, and to that I've added some sugar, additional sugar. That's going to be tempered by the bittersweet chocolate that will be added later. We're putting more chocolate into the chocolate pudding, and a little bit of salt, because it's always good to put a little salt in a sweet dessert. It helps to accent the flavors and bring them out.
Okay.
Interesting.
Is that different to coconut milk?
Yes, exactly. Now, I could have used coconut milk, but it's not as sweet. So you might want to just, play around depending on your own tooth. Because I'm using so much bittersweet chocolate, I'm using a half a cup of bittersweet chocolate, I went with the coconut cream because it's sweeter. Because that's going to bring out the, the bittersweet chocolate is going to be tempered
Right.
by the
Right.
sweetness
The
of the
sweetness,
coconut cream.
yeah.
And I didn't want it to be too, have too much bite.
Mm.
So that's why I went with coconut cream. But if you like your chocolate a little more on the pure side, less milk chocolate side, then definitely you could either increase the amount of bittersweet chocolate or use coconut milk. So that's now been added to the pudding. So that's diluted it. It's now loosened. You saw how thick it was just now. But as it continues to cook, it's going to thicken back right up. And we're not going to cook it to the point where it's super thick because it's going to continue to thicken as it cools. So we just want it creamy, viscous, holding its shape, forming ribbons. And that does not take long at all because cassava is something else, I can tell you that, when it comes to forming bonds.
And like magic, because it was like liquid there 2 minutes ago, you know what I'm saying?
The scene?
Wow.
So there, that's how we're doing with that. Any questions yet, John, on the event stream?
Nope, there's nothing so far.
Okay, people are quiet, watching and listening, I hope.
For surely.
And make a note.
Well, if we don't have any questions, I think now while everything is bubbling and coming to come, now is a good time to have our first performance from Corey. It's a song called Someday, Sometime. And is that going to be on this current album that's coming out, Corey, or is it from a prior one? I know it's been around for a little while.
It's been from a very first album, actually.
Right. See, I've known this one for a while. It's a good one. And you can get all of Corey's work on Reverb Nation. And he has his URL all set up in his lower third. So as he plays, you'll be able to get that information. So everybody mute. Corey's switching into studio, and you just start.
Okay, cool. The song is called Someday Sometime. It's a song about hope, not giving up on hope.
Yes. Make sure to be in studio mode. Okay.
We have been harsh and unkind. Are we just blind? We're wasting our time. Love is not a question. No, is it yours or mine? But someday, sometime, we will see that beauty is simplicity, and true greatness is humbleness and emptiness. The one we seek, if we listen more than we speak, we will find. The one we seek, if we listen, then we'll understand that it's futile to resist. Stop clenching your fist, open your hand. Someday, sometime, we will see that beauty is simplicity, and true greatness is humbleness and emptiness. The one we seek, if we listen more than we speak, we will find. The one we seek, if we listen. The one we seek, if we listen. seek, if we will find the one we seek, if we listen. Thank you.
Bravo.
Yay!
Right.
Wonderful, Corey.
Thank you.
Nice,
Oh,
nice.
thank you.
Oh,
This is my first virtual performance. It feels a little
but
strange
that
as a
is
performer,
wonderful.
but
Glad it could be here with
I
me,
dig it. It's
the best of
cool.
us of the
It's
world.
cool.
Yeah, something you have to
It's
get used to,
different.
but yeah, it's different.
Yeah. But once I get over it, it's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm a bedroom. There's all the songs have been written and recorded and everything. So it just zone out, you know, normal thing. Close your
Right.
eyes and tap in, and everybody else will be able to tap in.
Exactly. Time and space are illusions anyway, right?
Exactly. There's nothing in between us except
Thank
us.
you. Thank you. We're among like souls here.
Yes.
So I have my soup. Everything is bubbling. Everything is looking and smelling as it should. My soup is getting that really nice cloudy appearance that I like to see in corn soup. Ronnie and Pfizer and Corey would all know about that.
My
Right.
gosh.
Probably had your own share of corn soup over the past few weeks.
Yes. And you're giving me tabanca.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
good. Now explain tabanco for those out there who don't know what it is.
It's like when you've lost a great love and the sickness that follows, just you
You're
miss
hurting.
so much. You're hurting. And I'm having
In Trinidad
Tobago.
Tobago. I'm missing my home country.
Aww. Well, we're with you here, girl. We're with you. So to this now, I'm adding my rice milk and 1 carrot that I've diced up. There we go. Get all that seasoning. Turn up the heat a little bit. Get it back to the bubble point. And you can see this is such a pretty soup. Can you see that? Yeah.
Wow.
I have a question.
You're not easy, you know.
I have a question.
Yes.
To you say you turn up the heat to bring it back to the bubble point.
Right.
Do you turn the heat back down after it's
Yes.
to
Once it
bubble,
starts to bubble, I'm going to turn it back down because that's when I'm going to add the dumplings. Ooh, you see what happened there? So we want everything to simmer, but to simmer, we have to bring it back to the bubble. So I have it on medium-high right now, just to bring it back up to that point. And the dumplings are going to also help to additionally thicken the soup as well. So we're going to have a really good time when this is done.
Dumplings are my favourite.
Click that.
What kind of dumplings do you like? These are going to be cornmeal dumplings, John.
Gosh.
I like soft dumplings.
Nice, the real dumplings.
Some people
It's
like dumplings
kinda
harder,
sweet.
and especially with my mother. My mother's Jamaican. They like their dumplings hard. You know, and Mom has tried to soften them for my taste and my father's taste, but they're still hard.
Yeah, but the
Soft and
Barbadians,
fluffy.
they do it, the dumplings and cornmeal, and it's like slightly sweet.
Yes, that's why I love to use
soup.
cornmeal dumplings with the corn soup. Oh,
You
just get
lush.
those different variations and qualities that corn flavor can take on.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm melting.
And now what I'm going to do is something that is probably going to be new to a lot of you. I'm going to make a vegan cheese sauce. Do you make these, Corey?
Vegan cheese sauce.
Oh, good. Okay.
I'm
You'll
learning
like this
something
one.
new.
The recipe is linked on my profile and in the event page, so if you want to try it afterwards, you can. I have this pan heated already. Let me just turn it down a little. Basically, there are vegan ways to create the taste and consistency of cheese. And what this sauce is, it's a mixture of tahini, nutritional yeast, which is one of my favorite, well, it's not really a condiment, but it's a way to add a cheesy, quality to dishes
Yeah,
in
yeah,
a lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
vegan recipes. And so this has nutritional yeast, which is also very high in vitamin B. So it has a lot of good health components as well to it, health
Yeah.
qualities. And so this is blended with some seasonings, the tahini, the nutritional yeast, some cornstarch, which is what's going to add that
Wow.
cheesy quality.
Right, the thickness. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And once
yeah,
the heat
yeah.
hits it, you're going to get that melted cheese taste and feel. And that's what we're going to be using on top of the eggplant in our sandwich. See? You
Why
don't have to
can't you
feel
email
deprived
some
when
to
you're eating
us?
a plant-based diet. And that's one of the things that I've learned happily. So, because
Yes.
I do have certain...
Wow.
Sorry?
I have a question.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to make like vegan macaroni pie,
Mm-hmm.
would
Mm.
something like that mix that you just used be like an
Yes,
option?
definitely, definitely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You know? And if the person has a corn allergy, or not a corn allergy, a gluten allergy, gluten-free
Mm.
noodles, vegan cheese sauce, you know, there are ways to cook for everybody, you know, because, you know, dietary needs and allergens and all of that are things that are on
Yeah.
everybody's mind right now. And sometimes people think they have to give up the dishes and the tastes that they used to love. But with some creativity and thinking outside of the box, and there are a lot of resources online as well, you don't really have to give up that much.
This is fantastic. I love this.
Thank you. And again, I mean, for me, I'm lactose intolerant, and most people are to varying degrees. And so this is a great way to get those flavors and
Yeah,
those
yeah.
comfort feelings. Because, you know, I love a rich, cheesy sauce. I'm not going to lie. I love
Mm.
dairy. But it doesn't work that well with me most of the time.
Yeah,
So this
yeah,
is my
yeah,
way
I
of...
love I love dairy, but dairy does not love me.
Thank you.
yeah.
It's a one-sided relationship, you know?
Absolutely.
And so this is the way for me to get what I want out of dairy and win.
Come out on top.
You understand? So that I'm just going to keep stirring this off and on, but it is thickening up quite nicely. And I wish you could taste it, but you just have to trust me. It
I
does
just
taste very
begging,
cheap. You'd be
begging you to
surprised.
email some. Just put all in a nice little box and
What you
email
said,
it to us.
Corey?
Huh? Just
Email.
yeah, email some to us all.
Oh,
Yeah,
you know, I
please.
don't work, so you know, you might wonder why your computer stopped working.
Well, if they could have it like this, well, that's the next step. That was super.
And so actually what I just want to take a little screen time. This is the nutritional yeast that I'm
Right.
using today. Bragg nutritional yeast seasoning, and I got this at a health food store here in Trinidad, very affordably priced. It was actually 40 TT, Corey, so you know
What?
that's very affordable by our standards here for
That is
something like
real
this.
good, especially
Absolutely.
nutritional food.
Yes, so and it was a
Anytime you're being
nice
healthy.
full bottle, and you don't need much. It is such an intense, it's like Parmesan. So just
Mm,
like how you would sprinkle Parmesan on top of dishes or some
mm.
noodles or something, you can sprinkle this nutritional yeast straight on. Let's see if I can give you a sense of the texture of it.
Oh
Nice.
wow,
Can you see that?
really fine.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's loose, it's powdery, and
It
you can
kind of
use it
almost like
just like
grated
you would
cheese
use
in a
Parmesan.
kind of way. Wow.
You're learning something, Corey.
Yeah, learning new things, girl. Learning new
Learning,
things.
learning, yes. Nutritional yeast, I recommend it. I
That is
advise it.
mad. Especially I love what his sister was saying about the macaroni pie because I haven't tasted one of those in centuries because of that.
Exactly.
But
I
now
will
it's
send you a
possible.
recipe or some recipes that are close to what I recommend. Because I haven't written up a vegan one yet, but there are some vegan ones out there that I use and that I like, and I can send you those.
Corey, and
Mm.
since you're living home, as Sarina makes these recipes, I'm sure she can't eat all of this by herself. So
You know?
you need to
You know, I need
invite
to
yourself
beeline.
over.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
just show up.
Beeline to
You
wherever
tried
she
to, you
is.
know. You tried.
Yeah, real Trini style. Just show up. Ding
Yeah,
dong.
Google it. As
You
you log off, right?
understand?
Yes, man. See, girl, I was hanging out on my phone all this time. Come, samples.
Ooh.
Nah, for real. That would be. I
Oh,
would really love to
this is
taste it
smelling
in
so good.
person, cause it just looks so lush. Wow.
So this is my, ooh, and I need a little pot holder here, boy. Anyway. Ooh, yes, I do. Can you just pass me a pot holder? Right there in front of you. Thank you.
Wow.
Live TV here. So this is my soup. Let's see if I can bring it in.
Awesome.
Yes.
Mm.
And I'm now going to pour in my dumplings. So this is a mixture of flour and cornmeal and baking powder and a little bit of salt, which is what's going to give it that lightness. And it's at a dropping consistency, which means that, let's see here, let's get the camera on that, right? So see, it'll drop.
Yeah.
Hold it shaped softly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're not looking for hard rocks right now.
Yeah.
And we're just going to drop this
Style.
into the soup like that. So you can see what I'm doing there. And we're not going to stir the soup at this point because we want the dumplings to slowly cook. And sometimes, if you're lucky, they start to float to the top. But either way, they will be fine and they will be delicious. And they help to thicken the soup as well. So that's what I'm doing here. You're quiet, John. You taking it all in?
Oh yes, I'm always.
I hear that.
Take your notes. Yeah, cause wow, gain technique is it, you know, just to get the result that you're looking for. That perfect, as they say, you don't want a hard, chewy dumpling.
Right.
Not me, at
Kind
least.
of rubber dumpling, kind of.
Rubber dumpling. That sounds like a new rhythm. The rubber dumpling.
It's true.
soft and fluffy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like, you know, it kind of almost melting in your mouth, you know. A little bit of chew, but not jaw breaking, you know.
Yeah. And that's why we're putting it in at this stage, because as you said, it's light and fluffy, but at this point it's also going to start to take on, it'll have the sweetness of the cornmeal, but it'll start to take on the flavors of the soup as well while it starts to cook. So that's going to add to the melt in the mouth perception, because the flavors are going to be similar. So we're going to cover this and we're just going to let it simmer for the next 15 minutes. Nice. Let's look at our soup. Oh, not our soup, our cheese sauce. It's coming to come. I'm cooking it on a rather low heat because with cornstarch, I don't like to have too high a heat. I don't want anything to burn or to start to singe at the bottom. But let me see if I can bring this here. Yeah. See, it's glossy. See there? See how it's thickening up?
Wow.
We're getting that cheese, melted cheese quality. It's going to, and it's delicious. Trust me.
Everybody had just going like. It's such sweet torture. Oh.
It is.
Wow.
I know everybody forgot about my eggplant, but I haven't. It's time to take it out of the oven. Can I have another pot over here?
No,
Thank you.
I'm anxious to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
So my eggplant is ready. Ooh, it's hot, hot, hot. So those are baked at this point. Very crisp. This one's pretty here. Yeah, it's got a view there. They're nice and crisp and golden. And I'm just going to put them there, and I'm just going to put the bread in to warm. So just give me a second.
I just moving the mic away from my mouth because I find my words for the past couple of minutes were just
I've got here my ciabatta buns.
I just keep going so I'm just gonna put it inside.
So these are little ciabatta buns, and that's what I'm going to be serving the eggplant on.
Wow.
And these are just going to go in the oven to toasty up.
Where did you get those in Trinidad?
Peppercorn. Did you just mute yourself, Liza?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I got them at Peppercorn, but True Value and Hilo also sell artisan breads now. And they're very excellent for things like this if you just don't want to use the regular sandwich bread or you want something that has texture and sturdiness and body, which is what you're looking for in a sandwich like this one. You don't want a soft bread, a milky bread. Yeah, bread that's going to fall apart. Because remember, we're using some hearty sauces here, so we want a bread that can stand up to it. Okay. And I've been on a wine tip. Anybody who's been reading my stream, so my whole thing these days is pairing. I took this wine tasting class because I wanted to learn about wine for a few years now. So I'm doing a lot of trial and error. Last week I had last week, 2 weeks ago, I did a Pinot Grigio with the dairy dish that I did, roasted pasta with roasted grapes and so on and so forth. And today I'm going to try this Monkey Bay Sauvignon Blanc. Oh, which way? This way, right? That I learned about at the class that I took, and we tried it. I loved it, and I thought it would pair well with what I'm making today because this particular wine has grassy tones to it, and let's see what it also says, tropical fruit flavors. So I thought that would go very well with the herbal tones in our soup and in our marinara sauce and in the eggplant. So I'll report back on TriniGourmet.com on how it did work, if I failed or if I succeeded with this pairing. But just letting you all know, Monkey Bay Sauvignon Blanc, it's really nice. Very nice, crisp wine. Okay, and let's see here. So I have my marinara is bubbling. I think it's almost ready, actually. So let me just stir it. Yeah, most of the liquid is cooked off. If I wasn't doing this live on air, I might let it go another 10 minutes, but you know what, let me let it go the other 10 minutes. Now I'm going to kill it. Might turn up the heat just a little bit. I just want to get some more of the liquid out. So that's coming along nicely. I haven't forgotten my cassava pudding. Now my cheese is where it needs to be. And I can take it off the heat. So let's get that there. So you see here, it's pulling away from the edge.
Wow.
It's starting to form mounds. And as it cools, it's going to be even thicker. So it's almost like cheese whiz, but a very natural cheese whiz. This is the natural cheese whiz.
Better than cheese whiz, yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
You understand? Any questions coming yet, John?
No, not so far.
Okay, so we have a quiet event stream tonight.
Yeah, everybody busy drooling.
Exactly.
Just like,
Right, so that's continuing. My
I have one
cassava
question
pudding.
actually.
Let me turn that back
you?
up.
Oh,
It is
sorry.
thickening very well. It's almost at the consistency I want. Can you see there?
Wow.
So see how nice and dark it's gotten?
Wow.
And it's nice and
Got somebody else saying
viscous and see?
Wow.
You could put rum in that?
I could get some of
You could if you want to. I haven't. I'm going to put a little angostura near the end. So it's going to be chocolatey, it's going to be coconutty. So I'm just turning it up a little bit more. Yes. Now we're cooking off our marinara. Very nice.
Sarina, do you time yourself?
Do I what?
Do you like time yourself before you actually do this? Because I kind of.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I don't want to run over.
No, but that's well organized now, you know?
Well, yeah, man.
Yeah, good kung fu. I just admiring the skills.
You understand?
Yeah, you're on.
They don't call it Iron Chef for nothing, you know. This is battle.
I hear
It's
you.
not matter if you're cooking with yourself or against someone. It's your battle.
Nah, use titanium.
You have to show who's boss. You have to rule the pots. Iron fist.
True. That is your weapon. Wield it.
What you said?
I said that is your weapon, so you wield it.
Sweet hand.
Exactly. What up?
I get asked a lot by people, what does sweet hand mean, you know, because it's such a Trini term.
Yeah.
So they go, why sweet hand? And each time I have to say, it's one of the highest compliments you can give a cook here. It means their hand flavors everything they touch. You know, it's sweet.
Yeah, because your hand's sweet. Sweet hand.
Yeah, your hand's sweet, girl. Your hand's
Exactly.
sweet.
Oh, she got a real sweet.
So that is coming to come. That is coming well.
Wow.
I'm actually going to take this off the heat now for it to cool because, like I said, it's going to thicken as it cools. So I think this is actually a really good point to take it off. And you can still see there. Yeah. So you can see there it's reduced, it's thick. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to whisk in half a cup of bittersweet chocolate. And this is the same chocolate I used on the last show. It's a local chocolate bar called Carlos. Very cheap, very affordable, very natural, very pure. Trinidad cocoa is known as one of the best in the world.
Yes.
And it's really just the compressed cocoa with some bay leaf and some nutmeg and some cinnamon, no other additives. And so this is grated. It's so profoundly strong. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm so glad I can have access to it at an affordable price, you know. So I'm putting in a half cup of this into my pudding.
I'm sure it's very fragrant as well.
It's so fragrant. It's like a perfume when you grate it and when you put it up to your nose. I actually had my dinner guest on the last show, who's from your country, John, from Scotland. I had him smell it, and you know he was like, "Oh wow." You know, it's such a beautiful smell, that pure cocoa. So you can see in here now, by adding that, we've gone to almost black with the chocolate, and oh my God, you can smell it. Like, all that bay leaf and cinnamon and stuff is coming out in that steam you're seeing. So I'm about to OD on myself here with just chocolate love. And that looks like melted chocolate at this point, but it's just the ground cocoa powder, the chocolate almond milk, and cassava. Okay, and I'm going to add a little bitters. And that's a bit of an homage because John used orange zest and some other fragrant additives in his pudding, which inspired this one. His was a sago pudding. And so Angostura has a lot of those same citrus elements and lift. So I thought that'll be another addition I can use that I can Caribbeanize. Put a dash of that Angostura into the pudding. Nice. We're looking good there. We're looking good. So my marinara is where I need it to be right now. My cheese sauce almost is. So here it's...
That looks so good.
Gosh.
Did you all eat before you came on? I hope you all did.
No. I didn't.
So what I'm going to do to that is right before the show, in the rain, pouring rain, I ran out in the garden and I cut some basil because we have some basil plants. And I'm going to tear up this basil and put it fresh into the marinara. It just doesn't get any better than freshly torn basil in a tomato sauce.
True.
Must be summertime over there.
So I'm just
It's tropical, so it's summertime.
Exactly, summertime right through rainy season and dry season. And that's about it. Well, I know they just switched around.
I could only imagine the smell in that kitchen.
Watch now, wow.
It smells like a pizzeria up in here now, I must say. And a really good one.
I hold in my
one of the ones where you kind of have to sit down at a coffee table and stuff.
This is so amazing.
And I love using fresh basil, not just for the taste, but for the appearance as well. I mean, that bright green is just so gorgeous. So let's see, can you see?
Oh, wow.
There's still some on the floor, but that's okay. That's live video.
That looks so good.
Watch now,
That's okay. It wasn't much.
Grab some when it dropped.
Corey.
I did.
And now, just to finish it off, I'm going to put in a splash of balsamic vinegar. And I love this because people who know me know that I normally will add a little brown sugar every time I make something with tomato sauce. And so this is going to replace that. Give it a little acidity, but also with sweetness. So that's going to add the final kick to our marinara because it's not one of the ones that's been cooked for hours and hours and hours. So it's going to just add that extra zest.
Uh-oh.
Your other pot boiling over.
I know, but
I know, you see it?
Yeah.
I was just about to take it off. But we're ready now.
Exactly.
That soup is ready. Nice. Let's see if I can do this again without spilling.
No, spill. I catch it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, that is so
Lovely.
beautiful.
That
So
is
yeah, the
Colors, huh?
basil is wilted. The balsamic has deepened the color of the tomato, and it's a beautiful sauce at this point.
I tell. Yeah,
For
that's
real,
I
I
tell.
tell.
Yeah.
I know what that means.
I tell is like in Trinidad and Tobago is like vegetarian cooking. No
It's
Rasta, only
Rasta,
Rasta culture,
Rasta
yeah.
tunes.
Yeah, I tell food.
It's
Yeah,
very,
man.
yeah,
Yeah,
good,
man.
natural, healthy,
Exactly.
robust,
Exactly. Ground
nutritious.
provision, peas. Sometimes they cook without salt.
Right.
Sometimes like when you have a yaba is like a cook in a yard with 3 stones and you wood fire and that kind of stuff. So it's proper outdoor cooking, man. No salt and you go back for 15.
Forget seconds. You go back for
Yeah,
15.
15. They say, gosh, boy, ready?
Okay, so I'm turning off the heat on my cheese sauce
Hmm.
because it is done. My corn soup is done. I'm going to show you that as well. You'll see
Wow.
those beautiful dumplings. So just to see the sauce one last time.
Wow.
It's now thickened because you see it's leaving its path in the pan.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice and thick now, and it'll thicken as it cools some more. And oh gosh, my soup. Yes, let me show you this.
Wow.
So there's my soup.
Oh, that looks
Careful. If
so
that's for
good.
drinking it.
So
Mm-mm.
you can see that.
Oh my gosh.
Good.
And let me show you the dumplings. They've puffed up gorgeously. Again, that's the power of the baking powder. You can see. Look at that.
Wow,
Very
look how
nice.
nice.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna plate this. Wish you could be here, Corey.
Of course, I'm now thinking I wish I could just beam myself
Next
across right now.
next rounds, for sure. Next vegan one, I have in you.
Nice, I'll be a taster.
Exactly. So here's the soup.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
How
Absolutely
beautiful.
lovely.
Thank you. And I put
Absolutely
some dumplings
beautiful.
in there, but they ain't showing too clear. So let me lift it up. Yeah,
Gosh.
so you can see that. You can see the dumpling now.
Sorry.
So that is
Wow.
done and plated. Next, we're going to do our sandwiches. So let me get that plate. Let me get a bread. Nice. Let me get the plate. I'm going to cut the ciabatta. It's nice and toasty now. So I'm just going to cut it in half. Let me just turn it to the side here. Talk amongst yourselves. There you go. Nice. It's hot.
What temperature did you heat the ciabatta bread on?
Well, I just put it in the oven was already at 400 for the eggplant. So I just turned off the oven and just used the residual heat. So see here, has those nice holes and it's very fluffy and very fluffy, steaming
Wow.
on the inside. And so how we're going to serve this, we're going to drizzle some cheese sauce on the base of the bread.
Gosh.
So we've got our cheese sauce happening. Nice. We're going to take one of our eggplant steaks and place it there. You see there. We're going to take some of that marinara, that fresh marinara. That's nice and red hot right now. Get that on there. As thinly as possible. You know, we want to get all the color and the flavor, but we don't want to be spilling all over ourselves either. So see there what's happening.
Mm.
Right?
Oh, wow.
Gonna drizzle a little more cheese sauce. on top.
Wow.
Listen.
And you start to see how it looks like a little pizza, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it does.
Again, no dairy.
Pizza which should look like that.
Completely dairy-free. And then I'm going to add a couple of
great.
shakes of just the pure nutritional yeast. That's going to add even more cheesy flavor and a little bit of bite.
Wow.
See?
That is stunning.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's our sandwich. That's what we're going to have with our soup. I'm going to cut it in half. And so you see what you have there. That is a very satisfying meaty sandwich right now. You've got your eggplant layer, which is very beefy. People who are not usually used to vegetarian foods and eggplant in this style are surprised at how much it gives your mouth that sensation of eating something that is animal-based. So it's still very beefy, and you've got those layers of vegan cheese sauce, and you also have the tomato and basil running through, so it's very flavorful. You're not going to be missing anything when you eat this. And actually what inspired this was when I used to live in Connecticut. There was an Italian place that I used to buy food from on my lunch break sometimes, and eggplant parm sandwiches was my absolute go-to. And it's really nice to be able to enjoy it now in a healthy manner because theirs was dripping with oil. It was just stacked high. It was so fatty. It was good, huh? It was so good, but it was so oily. So it's really nice to be able to enjoy it now in a very healthful, guilt-free fashion.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
one last look there.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That is yummy. And then to end it all off, let me put that to the side as well. Let's do our pudding.
Right. I know at least somebody make a song that my stomach wanna make for the longest while. It's like, oh my gosh, Sarina, that is amazing.
Yeah? You think so?
Wow. I'm totally
Aw.
just blown away. Just the ingredients too is like
Yeah,
I
see
wouldn't.
the consistency of the pudding?
Mmm.
And it hasn't finished cooling yet, but that is, I mean, that is coating the spoon good, like.
Wow.
Yeah, almost caramelly.
Isn't it? So I'm just.
And I was
pouring
just
this
about to talk about that whole cassava technique to use it to thicken. It's like I'd have never thought of that.
Never.
You
You
see?
know?
Even you see, Corey, you're learning and you're expanding, all within
Yeah.
the parameters of veganism.
I could eat sweet thing like people normal again.
Normal people like
That's how to wait till I go Bristol to feel like I'm eating chocolate and vegan ice cream
No,
and
no,
things.
no,
So I could
no,
coast
no,
when I hear.
darling. Just grate up some chocolate, boil up and grind up your cassava, little coconut, you're good to go. So here's the chocolate pudding. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
No, don't lick your finger.
Trust me, it is so good with this because it adds to the thickness as well, the body. But here you can see let me see if I can angle it in. Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
How's that look, people? Let me put it closer. I don't
That
think
looks so good.
Oh.
That looks awesome.
And, it will continue to thicken as it cools. I'm just going to, for the final pièce de résistance, put a little desiccated coconut on top. Let's get that there. And then I'm going to grate a little more of that Trinidad cocoa, which is starting to soften here. This is a cube of it right here. Just going to grate some of that on top. Oh, it doesn't want to grate. It softens so much.
Yeah,
That's okay.
it's
I would
very
just
soft.
pick it apart.
Mm-hmm.
I would just pick it apart. That's okay. I don't trouble.
Adaptation, huh?
Adaptation, man. You understand? That's part of being boss. And there's your dessert. Absolutely
Beautiful.
vegan.
Wow.
Absolutely delicious.
Yum.
Chocolate cassava pudding with desiccated coconut and bittersweet chocolate on top.
Good.
Wow.
So what you all think?
I'm in Bland.
I came through?
Amazing.
It
You
looks
came
very
through
good.
like a boss, as you say.
Thank you. So
Like a
we're right on
boss.
time. We're 8:55. So Corey's gonna play us out with a track from his new album. Don't forget to switch to studio.
Yep.
Wait, this is from the new one or this is from the previous one as well?
No, this is from the new one.
Right, okay.
This is from the
I
upcoming
thought
one.
so. Just want to make sure. It's going to be from the new one. The new one is coming out hopefully in April. He's going to keep me updated. It's called Searching. So everybody mute, and he's going to play us to our end time.
A little atmosphere this time. Alright, this is Searching. Hang on one sec. In the view of another world, we are a planet of fruits. A place where we are bred to consume. So the most ignorant roots, and they're just the tools. Where the kings have been slain by their birds, and the queens killed at 20. Where the intellectuals are drones, indoctrinated and empty, yet some can find plenty. Searching for the light in the heart of night. Something isn't right. Still the light shines bright without a fight. A being from another world comes in a cloak made of doom. To blend in with the general fear, desolation and gloom. Of the ones who've forgotten their quest, the search for divinity. So disconnected from the root and obsessed with mortality, yet some find infinity. Searching for the light in the heart of night. Something isn't right. Still the light shines bright. Again this being departs from this planet of fools. The report wasn't cool. Some walk in the light, fight to live with all of their might, and some are frightened to become enlightened. Searching for the light in the heart of night. Something isn't right. Still the light shines bright. you everybody for taking in this vibes on Trinidad and Tobago.